I'm really frustrated and pain, and just I was saying to the camera how um like family confessions, how my mom told me that she gained housing, how other women gain housing, employment. I really don't know what else to do except respond with words to the challenges that are presented to me either in thought or in physical form. And all I know to do is to talk with someone directly, not in the mind or in writing about what I'm going to do. So somehow there is some male that is forcing his way, or females too, they force their presences into my life when I'm trying to cook something in the kitchen, my potatoes, apples, whatever I'm making for myself, or they want to involve themselves in and speak of perverted things or speak of intimate contact in a non-permitted format such as the wedding format, and declaring that there isn't one, and they're concerned always to do with the intimate aspect of my life. It is the most severe form of I was reading the Nelson Mandela profile. If anyone cares, go read on the internet, and what resulted in writing from that case is uh, that that is applicable, so that I could persuade I don't know who to help us find different housing for both of us, that talk honestly with me about how to make payment for things for housing. Like I said, there is a phone number where all I know is if we're pressured to feel like we don't have a place to be, like this has become impossible even more, call at 8:30 in the morning for rooming. So I insist that if that ever happens, that my son with me remain together. Okay, I do not consider myself a group or a unit nor a gang, nor Joel Reese is not vital to my existence at all. He is not included in my plans for my future. He never has been. In fact, in 2015, when he went to visit me at the Adelanto jail, and he started proposing then that he purchases a different house for me, for my son, for him, for my mom, I wanted to pick up the table and like start killing him already, but I could not. I had to sit there like a good person and like a nice, calm being, and just sit there and do my time with the other women, because he was holding money. He was holding my son's body. People around me were catering to him, hauling my son around wherever school my son was enrolled in at the time, and whatever, telepathy ways they had deceived him. I guess that the silent voices are private, but they were only private from me, and they were only saying them when I was unconscious. So I those were my true sentiments. And I don't know, maybe my mom was there. I don't know if my sister was there that day, my son. My reaction was like, what? No. Why? Oh no, I don't think so. So my reaction was very calm, like maybe barely audible. Like maybe my response was barely audible, and until 2026, I have to declare for declare, I guess, to my sister, to my mom, to my son, how much that family is not my family, and how much I have sought to escape them, escape the Reeses, and somehow he has managed, the Reese, to ingrain himself in friendship with my son's dad instead, or with whatever male could have ever tried to take me with my son with him, with another male. Or even I didn't want that though, because the religion was telling me that I didn't have to do that. When Robbie came around, I did my best to try to imagine a life with Robbie, and I could not, and I just that's not happening. That didn't happen, and and I was I had to have the same attitude as my mom. Like, I guess I'll whore myself to this male so I'll get housing for me with my son. But the problem was that he wanted to remain attached to me even after my son becomes 17 or 18. And I was like, well, ew, like, I know I'm in this religion and I know the beliefs in this religion, but I'm only tolerating a lot of this religion until 2017 because I am a citizen of some nation on earth that grants me the liberty of thought that you're listening to at this moment. So, my God, I don't know. I don't know when we're going to move away or when Joel Reese is going to be put to death with his brothers. I don't know, because when I talked with the sheriffs, honestly, like, okay, say we already went to, like, okay, let's just pretend I filed a restraining order against him. And so the scenario would be that I have to move away. He gets the property. My son stays tied up with him. My son stays tied up with Joel Ruiz, with the money, with things until Joel Ruiz dies. That's what the sheriff himself said. That he's like a friend, just telling me advice. Like, okay, if we, like, unofficial talk, this is what normally happens. Like, yeah, you would not uh, the judge would not say Joel Ruiz leave the house. What happens is wait until Joel Ruiz sells the house, gives my son money, gives his daughter money, gives my mom money, or we wait until he dies, and so then my mom or my sister, my son inherit the house. And so now this house payment is super high, and I cannot contribute payment to any house at the moment because I'm unemployed. And so, how is everybody else, when they get sick or disabled, capable of existing in this world without resorting to the silence? Like, they send me to pray in silence, to talk in silence, to think like this in silence, as if I were talking to Jehovah, my best friend, who was really whoever wanted to listen to me. And nowadays they don't want to listen to me in the silence anymore. They make somebody near angry, not my son, like neighbors, or I really don't know who, or maybe also in the silence, but to me sounds as if it's someone near, because I don't know, the car accident hit me on the right ear pretty hard. And then the police guys dropped me on my left side of my head, so that hurt my other ear. And so I don't know, could have some hearing damage, but I don't know how else to cope. Thank you for listening. Later when I feel better, I'm planning to make another video outside. I haven't been able to go outside today because last night I was telling my son my clothes are stuck in there. It's nighttime. If you don't go with me to get my clothes, and we don't wake up all day, um, I won't be able to do the rest of my laundry, and I won't be able to get my clothes from the dryer. I won't be able to wash myself tomorrow. And so already I washed myself anyway. I used different clean fabric to dry myself. And then I had to go back to sleep. And now I'm awake again and feeling like I have to tell Anonymous what I'm doing in here. So I'm sorry that, like, I don't have charming voice. I'm not trying to be charming. I'm just trying to get a relief. I want to be able to live somewhere where I don't fear going into the backyard, where I don't fear opening my room, my front door, or where I have control about who the guests are that enter the house, where I know if someone's visiting the other people in the house. It's just the communication is so broken here. That I have to do this to continue living. I'm really hurt, and I just want to feel better. And when I feel better, I don't I don't have a church or something to like a friend to talk with, so maybe I already said about going to a church. If males will approach us in a public place to go to a different church um and get some more help in where people in the flesh will actually, talk with me, talk with my son in a calm manner. Um, I some already agreed to do that, but the problem is my son's my son's choice, my son's decision, and the people involved in his subconscious mind that affect his decisions. As explained here, with my brain being different, my son's brain is also somewhat different because he's my son. And so the collective unconscious of fears that influence what we do when we're awake are the ones that I have to make a request to consider, to consider influencing him to make a greater separation between him and Joel Reese. It was my fault that he considered himself his grandson to begin with. He considered himself Gary's grandson and my mom's husband's grandson. Neither of them are really his biological grandpas. And so um somehow the proximity that my mom told me not to ever hug my mom's husband. She said never hug him when they got together when I was 8 years old. She said don't hug him, don't go, like just don't hug him or kiss him or caress him, because that man is not your father and he might want to be inappropriate with you. I don't know his true intentions. I'm trying to get you know I'm trying to get to be a Christian mother where he's not bad to you nor to his other daughter. And so you do your part in not approaching him that way. And so I approached him for a photograph because I already suspected that he is some terrible villain that somehow has influence in the Spanish telepathy, where he's not saying something nice for my son or for me, who is really my family. My son was me. He did not ever say something nice at all. So he doesn't have any heart, any good feelings in his heart towards either of us enough. Other people, he's only selfish in his carnal interest towards us, and I do not, you know, I do not concede to that. I do not follow that theory of thought, nor do I agree with that. Um, it seems that sometimes people, because my brain is vulnerable, they could possess my brain to think certain things. I feel like sometimes I'm channeling others, but I I I still have residence within my own body, within my own brain, sufficient to stand apart from the collective unconscious, or from the actual bodies that have gathered around, you know, that choose to remain anonymous yet affect my daily life, my son's daily life. Um, so this living one day at a time, not knowing what the next day will be like, is the most excruciating form of existence, because there I don't know why I'm living this way, where like every day is like, oh, she's still not married, she still didn't have intimate contact, her son with my son still didn't agree yet to go talk with someone about where else to live. And so, like, I'm never ever going to have intimate contact here with Joey Balan, my sister's husband. I am never going to have intimate contact with, nor anywhere else with Joey for that matter. I am never going to have intimate contact with my mom's husband, not here nor anywhere. Like, Do I have to make a list of males that I will never, ever, ever agree to touch me in any way than they already did in the past with a handshake or a pretend hug to get a photograph, hoping that someone will kill him? That's what I was doing, honestly, on the Facebook when it was Father's Day, and you see a photo there with me with my dad, supposed dad. No, that's to identify him as the murderer that he is, because his fault in rearing my son before 2008 are the reason that I could not impregnate myself when I could have. Because to me, apart from intellect, I was attracted to my son's dad's body. If I had another child with him, I would love that child with all my life, the same way that I love our son with all my life. Okay, and the reason I could not make any more of those babies is the way that the Ruizes adopted my son, and the way that they took advantage of Mark himself because he was young too. Even if he was Anglo-American, whatever, even if he could read minds, he was young. And none of us had listened to the schizophrenia. None of us had any experience with the way of the telepathy or the way that people think to punish me when they decide to punish me. I think that is all part of a spiritual living, of being one with the earth, being one with the planet, being in sync with the universe, being a good neighbor, being a good daughter, being a good mom. When all the carnal instincts of all the males and females are hyperly active, religion is the only way, and commitment to religions that people, calm themselves in their yeah ways of their intense emotions to reproduce. So 17 minutes again. I love you, son. I love families, independent families, that they're sweet to one another. Like, every family unit is a little king and queen and little princes and princesses. That's what, when I think of the world, like 9 billion people, and how do we do it? Because within the religions, within the communities, we always return to the love in the family unit. That you get together with someone you care about, who cares about you, and you make your little children, and they grow up together or separate, whatever way, that people want to procreate nowadays. Think there is a way to live with tranquility, and I'm cursed to be the only one that up until this time in 2026 has to resort to the silent petitioning for help, to the silence, and put up with bullies in the silence. um like, other people's responses vary. When they were saying tie her up, a lot of at least one female tattooed herself on her chest, tie me up, on Reddit, on the porn website Reddit. And the so my brain now says, now that they keep saying that there's no Mia, I think that means money, because I saw someone give somebody some money and they said, here's Mia. So I think Mia means dollar bills. And so I'm wondering how others respond to the mental illness, to the schizophrenia. If they hear tie her up, the women tattoo themselves, tie me up. If they hear there's no Mia, are the women tattooing themselves the word Mia or money? So I respond to the mental illness with the speech. Others have responded with a tattoo. I already decided if I ever get offered a tattoo or mandated a tattoo, I don't know how tattooing works. I'd get tattoos on my ears because I can't even afford earrings, being unemployed, and I always misplace them from the schizophrenia side effect on me. And so I have to tattoo maybe like some red dots or yellow dots, I don't know, or a little heart, so I don't forget my earrings.